Oh, hello there. Yes. Well, that got interesting yesterday, didn't it? That was quite a great deal of fun yesterday, watching the election from afar because I was doing some work. But yeah, suddenly the whole thing suddenly shifted a gear, one might say. The key part of it, of course, was the inevitable implosion of the Labour leadership in the face of trying to gerrymander their preferred candidates into safe seats. It's been widely suspected that the sudden exodus of Labour MPs has happened because central office want to parachute their own people into particular parties. There's a long history in the Labour Party of doing such things. This means that we may well get some really central figures in the case, one might say, the movement against Jeremy Corbyn from Labour Party HQ becoming MPs. That basically was the plan, that there wouldn't be enough time at the election to do a proper selection process, and therefore we'll give you Luke Akehurst or someone similar, so you can have them and various other kind of people who the left aren't very keen on because of their role in toppling Jeremy Corbyn. But it's backfired somewhat. I mean, the very, 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 very disgraceful handling of Diane Abbott, because these nasty, nasty racists who cannot stop themselves briefing the press, has seriously backfired when she announced in her local constituency yesterday that she's basically going to stand as an independent. Now, having at least two independent MPs from the Labour left, ex-Labour left as they are now, as London-based MPs in the new Parliament will make it quite interesting, because you would automatically have a nebulous of a completely new political party there, with two rock-solid MPs who certainly aren't going to go anywhere. That's what various people were sort of hoping with Jeremy Corbyn, was that he would stand as an independent and they would go and make sure that he was returned as an MP, because a lot of us could see the way that could go. Astoundingly badly handled by the Labour Party, but it does just show you how appalling these supposed sensible centrists are. When push comes to shove, they can't actually handle anything at all. Yes, so anyway, more power to their elbows. I've had my own individual disagreements with Diane Abbott in the past. I thought when she sent her kids to private school, for example, back in the Blair years, it was appalling. But that's me being me. It's not her necessarily being a bad MP, and she's likely, in fact, in the same way pretty much that Jeremy Corbyn is, to be returned as an independent. So more power to their elbows. But the other biggie kind of sensible centrist story yesterday was Liz Truss, for some reason that can only be known to her handlers, decided to go and on the Lotus Eaters and get interviewed by Connor Tomlinson. Now, the Lotus Eaters with Carl Benjamin is a far-right group of lads who come out with all the usual skirting issues around legitimacy on YouTube and other platforms because of their incipient, nationalism, if I can put it as delicately as that. And rightly, Jess Phillips, who was the subject of Carl Benjamin's ire way back when he was standing as a UKIP candidate, was upset about this. And it is odd that Liz Truss has decided to go on there, because, okay, she's part of that new conservative cabal of very heavily influenced from the US British Conservative MPs. Okay, but it's just a strange thing for a former PM to do on any basis, because she doesn't need 14-year-old American Nazis support. I mean, it's a very much kind of gesture politics on her part, but at the same time, you would have thought she'd go somewhere slightly out market, should we say. Anyway, this enabled Carl Benjamin to come out jumping up and down about how badly he's been treated, because Carl Benjamin, like so many other white straight people in his position, is the victim. Okay, he's always been the victim, because people have simply misunderstood that when he said things that were dreadfully racist in the past and dreadfully sexist, he either was being misquoted, or it was just a joke, or, well, it's not racism really, which comes on to this whole kind of notion that right-wingers have, whereby, I mean, you know, I get a lot of it in my sort of comments where people will argue with me, and the baseline of what they say is always, well, it's not racism, or it's not sexism, because that's all just a blunt position that no one can argue about, yeah? So we now have Carl Benjamin issued this very, very long statement, and others, okay, about the way that he's a champion of women's rights everywhere. I mean, he's done loads of stuff about grooming gangs, for example. A bit like Tommy Robinson, you know, that other well-known feminist. Anyway, obviously it doesn't cut much mustard with me, and I imagine almost anyone else as well. But on one point, he's loving the attention, because of course it will drive traffic his way. Because the big paranoia that Carl and the others have, of course, is that people will stop watching. Anyway, we got something similar from Connor Tomlinson bemoaning the communists having a go at him, and there's no way you can call him a far-right Christo-fascist. I mean, you know, he holds all of those views, but you mustn't point that out to people, because again, it really attacks the business model. And anyway, all the lads on the Lotus Eaters do amazing stuff where they disagree with each other. You know, I mean, you know, Connor Tomlinson's a Christian and some of the others aren't. There you go, look at it, the whole spectrum of political thought, from one extremely right-wing, nasty, misogynist white guy to one quite nasty, misogynist white guy. Yeah, the whole the whole gamut of human life is there. And Carl, you know, finally managed to have a go generically at the media, because that plays well with his audience. But a bit like Ollie London, he leaves a very, very bad taste in the mouth at these people. I mean, it's just a horrible game, and it's been a horrible game from these people since 2016. I mean, I hate it when people that know nothing appear in my comments and argue with me about things that they know nothing, and then accuse me of just being some idiot because, you know, I'm reasonably well read and my political position is well thought out, and I'll cite references, because patently that's a ridiculous way of going through life. They're just right. Always. And even when they know how much they're a racist, a sexist, a fascist, or anything else other label that you know you can apply to them, they will simply say that they're not, because that enables them forever to wriggle away from things. Anyway, here's hoping that various people on the left, like Lloyd, I must mention Lloyd Russell Ball again, can stand as independents. It would be nice. It's a bit late in the day, granted, but it would be nice if these people could do so. You don't have to like these people's politics, but the way that they've been treated by Starmer, perhaps inevitably, is a very good indication of the type of government that we'll get. Okay, you can read in the Telegraph about how dangerous a socialist he is, but he's not, because he's not even a Democrat. Anyway, do have a lovely Thursday. The week trundles on. Got things to do still, and I might even get on with them today. Do have a lovely one.